2 in action. What's up, y'all? This is Black Star from GamingArcadia.com. Check me out at my YouTube, youtube.com/theblackstarmovement, and also check out our group YouTube, which is youtube.com/GamingArcadia. Got new videos popping up every day, or every other day at least, and just go check them out and see what you like. You know, if you like them, just let us know. If you don't like them, also let us know. But alright, on to the video. This is Sarah's Movelist Breakdown Part 2. And this goes over the P button attack. So all P button. So high punch, you got elbow, 2P, so on and so forth, right? Gonna go over those. How this is gonna work is I'm gonna go over each button section one by one. And of course I'm starting with P button today. So of all the attacks, what should I start with? In the P button, of course, none other than standard high punch, 5P, I guess, or just P. 5P is really good. Of course, her 5P is standard, but standard 5P, or standard punch, I should say, high punch, is just really good in general. First of all, it's +2 on block, which is great, because not for most characters, this will be their only plus frame attack. It's not the case for Sarah, but for most characters, that'd be the only thing that'll give them plus frames on block. So it's +2, yeah, +2 on block, +5 on hit, and I think +8 on counter hit. Let me see. Yeah, +8 on counter hit. +8. Okay, and just going over in general, and for those who don't know, you have different categories of options that are available to you during different areas of frame advantage. So of course, if you do a move that's punishable, like -15 or -12, you know, they can get a free attack on you and get free damage. So you got that. That'd be a level of options that you have on frame advantage for that amount of frame advantage. For -10, you get free throw. And here's where the meaty part comes in. For -6 to -9, you have knee tackle position. So what that is if you're anywhere in the frame advantage of -6 to -9, or +6 to +9, or whatever, you can basically do a 50-50 mix-up on the other character. So in other words, if I put him in -6 to -9 position, as far as like frame advantage, I can force him to either choose between a throw or a mid. Like, the reason I say that, and actually this is really important because this is the meat and potatoes of VF, especially for high level VF. You want to there's not many unlike, you know, games like Tekken and Soul Calibur and stuff like that, there's really not that many punishable moves. So you won't catch him in a technically unsafe position like a lot, if ever. Like if you play players like Gentleman Thief, who's like the best player in the West, in case you didn't know, he never does like unsafe moves at all. Like you'll never see him go above like -10, -11, -12 or something like that. You'll never be able to catch him like with a real punish. So what you want to do, you want to catch him in knee tackle position. And like I said, if you put him in -6 to -9, like you can get a free mix up between a mid and a throw. And it has to be a mid or a throw because any other option, they have escape options out of it. Like if you do a high punch instead, they'll be able to duck it or 2P it. You know, if you do a throw, they can well, throw is part of the mix up. But if you want to do like backdash or something, well, just take my word for it. Like you have to do one or the other to make it a real true 50-50. Like if you choose a mid from a knee tackle position, the only way they can avoid it is like high block or evade. And you know, of course, counter and stuff like that. But it's kind of like an exception. Like if you choose throw, the only way they can beat that out of knee tackle position is attack. And they can't duck in time, so they can't even duck. That's the thing about knee tackle. They don't have enough time to duck. So they can only attack or like throw break. And there's some other option. I can't think of it right now. So, you know, you really want to do that. Put them between -6 and -9 in high level play. Of course, if you have +5 or from -5 position, you can let me see, let me put him in guard. Yeah, from -5 position you can do crouch dash fuzzy. So what that means is if you do a move and your opponent blocks it and you're at -5, you can do crouch dash fuzzy guard and you'll have enough time to duck or block different options. So I'm gonna set my opponent to either guard to throw a mid attack or a throw after they guard an attack. So -5, I get enough with enough time to block a mid, but I'm quick enough to duck a throw. That's the power of fuzzy guard, and you get that from, I believe it's -3, -4, -5. -2, yeah, I'll keep it on here. Let me see, what's -2? Alright, well it worked for -3, just regular fuzzy. Actually, yeah, so -1 to -3 you get regular fuzzy guard, which is just basically crouching like really quick and standing back up. -4, -5, just to reiterate, you get crouch dash fuzzy. -6 to -9, whoever's in that position is forced to take a knee tackle mix up. So that's standard VF pretty much. Now I've got through that and I can actually get to the attacks. I already spent way too long on this. So, you know, back to high punch. High punch is really good because it's one of her only attacks, or let me not say only attacks. She actually has several that gives plus frame on block, but she's like very unique. Not any other characters like that, I don't think. So in other words, it's really good on block. It's plus, what is it? +5 on hit, and it's also +8 on counter hit. So if you counter hit somebody with that, you get a free knee tucker mix up on them. Like, it's a good poke tool. It's +12, or it's 12 frame startup, so it's really fast. You're not gonna be able to see it. 12 frames is actually really fast in 3D games, in case you didn't know. So you're not gonna be able to react to it. She has different options coming out of it, and basically it's one of your best poke tools. So, you know, if you're playing a neutral game and you don't know what to do, and you don't know what your opponent's gonna do, and you're close enough, you can just like test them out with just like a regular punch. And then not only that, you can do like different mix-ups too. So punch in the elbow, punch in the throw. Well, let me put him on block. Yeah, you can do punch in the elbow, punch, yeah, and then fuzzy guard right out of it, punch in the throw, punch in the low, punch in the positive frames. You know, just punching the punch, punching just the guard, you know, whatever you want to do. You can do mix-ups just to poke them and see how they react. If you see they react in a certain manner all the time, like you do poke, you poke with a punch and you elbow immediately afterward, and you see they always high guard, you can just like, next time you do a mix-up, and just switch it up to poke and the throw. And that's just standard VF that's been in since like time immemorable. So that's like basically its greatest strength. It's a very safe high poke. And also the thing about this game, this move, is it's one of the only attacks where, let me see, you have plus frames if they evade it. Like, of course, if Sarah evades it here and she tried to attack me, like, I'd have plus frames. So if she had tried to attack me there, I would have counter hit her. So this is one of the only attacks in the game that actually does that. It's really, really, really fast. But at the same time, for the counter for high punch is 2p. It can get low crush. It can get high crush. And then the standard high crush is 2p. Or yeah, 2p. So there you go. That's the con for the move. Alright, so I guess that does it for 6p, or for high punch. Let me go into hold 6p. That'd be the next attack. See, these attacks are going to take like a long time because there's just so many options in Virtua Fighter. Like, it's really hard to go through them all in like a timely manner, because there's always like another situation that you have to think about in the back of your mind. And in this game, it's so fast. It's so much faster than like other 3D fighters. It's kind of like Marvel in speed. So you have all these options. You have more options than any other game, like fighting game out there. And then you have the speed of Marvel on top of that. It gets really hectic and high pace. and reactionary in high level VF, and that's how it's supposed to be played. Well, okay, that's done. That's high punch. Next, I'm gonna go over straight lead. Well, high punch is straight lead. We're gonna go over the next version of straight lead, which is hold 6P. So walk forward and hold punch. And basically, this is just combo parts. That's what it is. So if I do a combo, whoa, that doesn't even connect. Right there, I'm holding 6P. I'm holding forward while hitting punch. And basically that just ensures that my punch connects and I finish the combo. It makes certain combos possible when it probably wouldn't be at other times. So there's, you know, basically has the same frame, same uses and all that. So that's all I need to go over with that move. Let's see. Next move is punch high kick. So that's PK. PK is -4 on block, so on block you can fuzzy. You can crouch dash fuzzy. On hit is +4, which is pretty good. You can throw a mix up. You can technically throw a knee tackle mix up. Technically, they can fuzzy out of it, but if they just get hit on the fly, they're not going to be able to block. They're not going to be able to just crouch dash fuzzy on reaction like that. So it's a real good time to throw a mix up. And on counter hit, let's see. On counter hit, it's a launcher. But because it's K and not KP, you don't really get much out of it. Yeah, they float too far away. I can do this though. 74 damage, which is not bad, but you can do better with, you know, a KP combo. So there's that. Those are the frames for that move. And basically how it works is basically it's your standard fundamental punishing tool. So if you know opponent did something punishable, and you don't know how to how big it is as far as like frame disadvantage wise, you want to do a PK. Let's see what punishable she has. Let me try that. That's actually what, -15 or something like that. But if I didn't know, I just do like, oh wow. If I didn't know what the frames it was, I just do PK. And you get 32 damage +4, you know, free mix up. And that's basically how it works. It's the most standard, most baseline punishment tool in all of VF. Been there since all the other VFs. You know, that's basically how it works. But you don't want to like. There's some combos that you can use it on too. I really can't think of any right now. So you can use it for combo parts, but you really don't want to use it on its own because they're both high, so you can get high crush. Or yeah, high crush by 2P or something like that. Alright, so on to the next move. We have punch toe kick, P4K. This move right here. This move is actually like really good on a high level, I think. This is another VF standard move that's been around since forever. I don't know if Sarah had it in every iteration, but like either Sarah or Jackie always had P4K. And basically what it is like, you know, testing your reactions with punch, testing your opponent reaction with punch, high punch. And if they try to 2P you, like it'll counter hit them, or it'll counter hit them if they try to attack them. If they try to 2P you, it'll stagger them. So there we go. Let's see. And with that stagger, no matter what happens, whether they shake out or not. And this is kind of unique, but whether they shake out or not, they're always at -10. So back here, it's too far because you can't throw them. Throws are 10 frames, by the way, so that'd be your guaranteed punishment on -10. But since they're too far away, you don't get it. But if you're close to the wall, yeah, if they're close to the wall, I should be able to do it. No, I guess not. So. Anyway, you're -10, so you can throw a free knee tackle mix up at least. So that's how that works. Anything else about the move? It's -6 on block, so if it's blocked, you automatically put yourself in knee tackle situation where you have to guess, like between mid or throw, if they catch it enough. And that's not a good position that you want to be in. So unless your character really doesn't know the frames of that move, and most people don't, And unless they're just not paying attention, like I wouldn't throw it move out too much, because -6 is kind of a big deal in high level VF. On hit is -1, so you don't get a big reward just on hit regular. Yeah, let me move position back, and let me take the guard off. Yeah, -1, like you just put yourself in negative, so it's like you don't get a big reward on normal hit. So you can tell this move is designed for counter hits. Like, so, you know, spoiler alert, like a lot of the moves, how they're designed to be used, like you can tell how they're supposed to be used by the frame data in this game. So, and of course on counter hit is +5, so it's free mix up. And on if they're crouching, like whether blocking or if it hits or if it's counter hit, they're gonna be at staggered position for -10. And okay, that's P4K. You know, there's actually a lot of freaking moves here. Alright, now you got PP. PP is jab straight. Okay, long story short, don't use this move. It's not good. Not by itself. It's basically combo parts, if anything. Next, you have PPK. And what this move is good for is side turn punishment. Like, let's see. Yeah, let me set the computer to do it. The thing about this move is, if they pull it off, like the whole string does a combo. Not from facing forward. See, I can block the last hit. But the thing is like, watch the combo counter. From side turn, you get all 3 hits. So basically, it's your it's like your PK for side turn. It's your standard punishing move. So if they're -12 or above, you just throw up. If nothing else, yeah, if your opponent's -12 or above, if nothing else, you can throw out a PPK from side turn. It'll knock him down. You can do Okizeme or whatever. So that's basically the use of that move. Also, if you can get it off for whatever reason. Oh yeah, it's delayable. But then again, like pretty much every string in like the vast majority of strings in VF are like really super delayable. Like you can just wait forever to do the next move or whatever. And that's just the staple about VF game. That just makes it to where your opponent has to guess more often than he would in other games. So there's that. But basically that's the use of PPK. But if you get it off on a wall, like, and you counter hit him on a wall, I believe, they can get wall staggered. Let me throw an example. Yeah. Well, it's not even wall stagger, it's a wall splat. So basically you can go straight into a wall combo. So it's just something to keep in mind. Like a little option you have to keep in mind for that move. Alright, next is Flash Piston Punch, which is PPP. Again, combo parts. Delayable. Not really a block string. And that's the thing about these strings, like, because your most basic VF string is PPPK for like pretty much everybody. And what new players don't understand is that PPPK is not a true block string in any capacity. Like when it comes to the third punch, they can like yeah, let me test it out. Yeah, so when it comes to the third punch, you can always 2P it. Now, I can't do it on hit, but it has to be on block. But still, if they're mashing PPPK, first of all, you already know they're a noob because the string is terrible. And second of all, you can counter it with 2P. And that's especially important to learn when you're playing against like Lao or Pi, when they have like especially Lao with his like PPP and then sweep or whatever, that really annoying string that's still kind of good, not great but kind of good. A lot of people don't know how to punish that. It took me a while to figure out how to punish that, but my VF Sensei STL Tim, he let me know. You can just 2P out of it. So no, this is not a block string. Matter of fact, it's not even a good attack by itself, so you don't want to use it. But up to note is the fact that you can like transfer into forward slide. So if you want to just throw out a mix-up every now and then, you can do that just out of the blue moon, just to make your opponent be like, you know, what the heck is this? You know, so that's PPP. PPVK is kind of the same way. Matter of fact, this is a terrible move. If you ever see anybody use this in a move, like this move in a match, like you already know they're a terrible player. Like just don't use it, like ever. It's really bad. The knee at the end, first of all, yeah, like I said, it's not a true block string, and then it's minus 18 on block, and then when you get the hit, you get nothing out of it. So the only time you'll ever use it is like on a really bare bones combo, like you have no idea what to do at all. So go change position back. Yeah, so it's like kind of an okay damage combo, 62 damage or whatever, but of course she has higher stuff for like a 1K on a lightweight. So in other words, don't ever use that move, just don't. Next is PPPK, PPP4K, combo somersault kick, this is what it's called. You can also do PPP7K. It's the same thing, the only difference is that, you know, it's, first of all, it's worse on block. It's minus 27 on block because you end with a flip kick, and it's equally terrible. The only time you'll ever use it is for, you know, playing against Taka, doing a wall combo or something like that. I believe he has 1 or 2 combos that are required where you have to use PPP4K or PPP7K. That's the only time you'll ever use it. But besides that, if you ever seen anybody in a match, you know they're terrible. Alright, next you have PPP8K. And what I just did is basically the only use for a move. Because first of all, it's a flamingo transition, and most of our flamingo transitions are plus on block. So yeah, let me show you an example. Like this is +4 on block, right? This is +2. This is +2. This is -8. No, -6. Still, it's terrible. Just so you know right now, if you're ever in flamingo and negative, that especially that far in negative is like you're in the worst position in the world. Even if you're -1 or 0, well, if you're -1 or -2 or greater, that's a really bad position to be in for flamingo. And you'll have to do like a reverse Nitaku setup, pretty much. So you never want to be negative on block while getting in a scarecrow, and this is what this move offers you on block. And by the way, this is not a true block string either. So basically this is another move that you'll use like once every blue moon or something like that, just to mix yourself up to get in the flamingo stance. And the good thing about this move is like it's one of the fastest ways to transition into step stance, which is where you see her shuffle her feet. Ah, missed it just for you. And there you go. That's like pretty much the only use for the move. Like you'll never see this move used in a match. Like maybe once every year or so. Alright, that's their basic moves out of just regular punch, right? All of that was just high punch and its variations. Alright, next we're gonna go into the infamous 2P. Squat straight. Ah yes, the infamous 2P. This move can seem very powerful or even spammable, but you know, in reality, in Virtua Fighter 5 or in Final Showdown, in fact, is relatively like rewarding, but at the same time, it's like it comes with a bunch of risks that can be exploited by veterans. So you know, see, if you 2P a lot, if you want them dudes to 2P a lot, and you think you're doing good and all that, it's like you're actually doing yourself like a disservice. Because first of all, 2P does what? How much? 10 damage? 9 damage, not even 10, it's terrible. But I'm gonna get all that into a minute. Let me tell you what the move is for. You probably know already, or you can understand it already, but all this move is an interrupt. That's all it's for. It's for to get your opponent to stop pressing buttons. Because first of all, it's 12 frames, just like her high punch, so it's one of the fastest attacks in the game, period. And gives you like really good frame advantage on counter hit, +7. I think on normal hit is +4, which is still pretty good. You can still do a mix-up. But on block it's -5, I think. Let me see. Yeah, -5. So you know, basically, if you do -5, it's like you just killed all your offensive options right there. Like you really can't attack anymore. And if you do, you risk getting like launched for free. So you don't want to do that. Let me see if I can do another example. As you can see, I launched her for free. Because she tried to 2P me at a -5, which makes her next move like technically a 17 frame move. And of course, I do my 17 frame launcher and it clashes. And in VF, the move with the most damage wins. So higher class moves win. So my launcher is going to beat 2P if they mash out of it. So if you're one of them players that like to run up and do 2P as a poke, just get in your head now. 2P is not a poke. It's not a poke. Just don't do it. If you do this, you're going to get countered. And there's several ways to counter it, 2P. First of all, but at the same time, I have to say 2P is technically very hard to punish from like a new person's standpoint, because it's 12 frames, right? I think it's 32 total frames. So in other words, you're not gonna be able to like, okay, you can in that case, but if you successfully evade, you'll be in positive. But there we go. Let me do this until they, yeah, there we go. So even if you successfully evade it, you won't be able to get anything out of it because it's already finished by the time you finish your evade, even on a successful evade. So you can't evade it and punish. You can't, if you block and they decide not to spam anymore, like they're safe. So, and there's like other situations like that. So 2P at first seems like it's very, very, very hard to punish, right? But 2P actually has like counters, and the most important counter that you need to remember is low crush. Every character has their own specific low crush. For Sarah, hers is 8K plus G and 8K. Woo, that didn't work. But just note that 8K plus G works in negative frames, but 8K, it only works from positive frames. So if I do an elbow and try to 8K, it's not going to work. We'll get counter hit. But those are her low crushes. She has others, but they're in stances and stuff like that. So, you know, that's a little more specific, and it doesn't really have anything to do with this. So that's your #1 option if you see somebody spam 2P, or if you just know that they're going to 2P, and you want to do one move that'll like beat it out, you do a low crush. And with whatever character that is, you got to find out for yourself. But Sarah, it is mainly those two. So that'd be the first option. The second option would be, you know, just do a preemptive elbow. Like, because it's so fast. See, this is why P to 6P or high punch to elbow is like such a good viable option as far as a mix-up goes. And as far as a poke goes and testing out your opponent's reflexes, if you see that you're gonna elbow, they're gonna get counter hit. I mean, if you see they're gonna 2P, they're gonna get counter hit by the elbow. So elbow is a good preemptive anti-2P. So if you want them to just stuff that 2P before they even think about trying to do it, you know, you just do an elbow like after that or something like that, and put them in -7 and bam, knee tackle. And right here, they lost just about half life. It does 95 damage by itself. So that's another good way to punish 2P. Another good way to punish 2P is, like I had shown you before, just block frame advantage. And if they try to mash again, you know, you force them into a mix-up. If they try to mash again, but of course you have to think of this ahead of time. But if you think they're gonna mash out of it, you just hit them with a launcher for free. If you think they're just gonna block, then you can do an on block mix up. If you think they're gonna duck, hit them with a mid. If you think they're gonna stand up and block, you can just hit them with a throw. So this is where your Yomi game comes in. But those are the main ways to beat 2P. And if you know that, you already have all the best weapons you have to defeat 2P, which is like already by itself one of the strongest weapons in Virtua Fighter by itself because of its interrupt properties. And if you can do that, you're already well into intermediate player territory. So, you know, that's pretty much the main thing about 2P that I can think of. And there's no variation in that. 2P is just 2P. So, on to the next set of attacks, which is 3P. Snap Side Chop. This is basically an alternate high punch. It's really good. It's just as fast as 12 frames. But if you, as you can see by the arrow right by Brazilian Sarah's head, it's a half circular. It covers her front area. So if opponents try to evade toward her chest, let me see. Yeah, move toward the screen. In this case, they try to move toward the screen, they're going to get counter hit. In this game, if you evade and you catch your opponent with any evade in the correct direction, they're going to get automatically counter hit. So this is a preemptive anti-evade tool that you can just throw out. I mean, this could be a poke in itself, and if they just try to like evade off the rip, you can just catch them for free. Or you can go to one of their mini mix-ups. Whoa, forgot. There we go. That's 3P in a nutshell. It's really good. Spam it often. Only thing about it is, like, high P. If you use it too much, it can get countered by 2P. So just mash all the time. You can get high crush. That's the only con about it. It's -3 on block, +3 on hit, +5 on counter hit, so it's pretty good. Alright, on to variations of 3P. You got 3PP, Snap Side Chop. No, Snap Side Chop double. It's a high mid. So this is one of the many other ways you can use 3P as a poke to test out your opponent's reflexes. So, if you think your opponent's gonna, try and 2P you, like, to try and high crush you, you can just use that and force him to stand up. And that's basically his main use, because on normal hit, with no yellow flash, is -1. So you get nothing out of it. But on counter hit, it's +4. Of course, it's a mid, so even if they're crouching, you'll hit them. No, not mimic. There we go. It'll force them to stand up, and that's a really other good move about, good property about this move. It just basically is like a no, you can't crouch, you gotta stand up. So that's one way to test your opponent. But because you're -1, you really can't get anything out of it from normal hit. So let's think about that. But that's pretty much how you use the move. But the good thing about this move is that on counter hit, let me set it something else. On counter hit, it'll wall stagger. So that's another option she can do. Oh wow, I did the wrong move. But basically, if they get wall staggered, if they don't know how to shake out of it, and a lot of players don't, you can get a free wall combo if I can actually do the wall combo. So there's one of the many options out of that move. Alright, next up is 3PK. 3PK is called Setup Combination. It's basically your high punch into Flamingo attack. It's a transition move. No, not throw, there we go. And that's basically what this is designed for, to catch your opponent like trying to stand Abari you. And what Abari is, to those who don't know, is basically attacking from negative frames. There's uses for it, so it's not completely a bad idea, but in most cases it is a bad idea, so you don't always use it all the time. But if they try to throw you, that's when you want to try an Abari. Anyway, back to 3PK. Normal hit, it gives you +2 on block, so it's pretty safe to use on block. It's not a great idea to use on block because you're only +2, and if you're +2, you don't have a whole lot of flamingo options that open up, but the ones that you do are still kind of okay. But basically what you want to do is like you want to catch them on hit, especially on counter hit. So if you're trying to poke with 3P and you think they're going to attack, let me turn this off. There we go. But if you're trying to poke with a 3P and you think they're going to try and attack like with a non-crouching move, you can hit with this and get it, pretty much anything you want out of Flamingo for free. So that's a great time to use it. The other great time to use it is as a Punisher. Yeah, so again, like if you're, it's one of her best Punishers, if not the best Punisher that she has. I'd say it's like top 2, top 3, one of the best Punishers. So you want to use it all the time. Like if you know that you're gonna do an unsafe move that's not launchable. Let me do this over. So if you do that and you catch them, but you don't have enough time to do anything like -14 and above or something like that, you can just do 3PK and bam, you got -5 for a Flamingo setup. Free mix up. You can do a low or mid. If I can get it off. There we go. Or if they're trying to duck because they're scared of the low, after you condition them, like they'll get hit by a crumple combo from the mid. So those are the 2 uses of the moves. And the only con about this move, oh yeah, it's also cancelable into step stance. So every now and then, do this a lot. Always blocking or something like that. If you see they're blocking all the time and they're just dependent on like high guard, high block, you just pull this and throw them in another mix up for free. I wouldn't use it all the time because it's still a gimmick, but at the same time it's pretty good. You can get a decent combo out of that. So yeah, it's 3PK. Still a lot of moves to cover. It's ridiculous. Okay, that does it for 3P combinations. Next up is 4P, back knuckle. This move right here. See, a lot of us around here in VFDC, the Sarah players, are discovering like this is a pretty good move. This is one of her only moves that covers her back from a half circular point, because Sarah doesn't really have many full circular moves that are like good, unlike Brad or somebody, or maybe Jackie. So she has a hard time like dealing with evaders. Folks who like to evade a lot. So she basically has to, if you know your opponent's gonna evade, basically the Sarah player has to guess which side that they're gonna evade and cover that side. So if I cover my front side with 3P, my back is wide open. So if they evade that way, like I'm just wide, well, not wide open, but still I lose my advantage. Yeah, exactly. So if that happens, I lose my advantage. And the thing is like, in my experience, a lot of characters' weak spots or weak evade areas is toward their back, and Sarah is no different. She has a lot less moves and a lot less viable moves that cover her back from an evade standpoint. But as you can see, 4P actually covers that. 4P by itself is not a bad move to use. I don't really see it used much by itself. It's relatively slow for a punch, because 16 frames, even though it's still pretty good. But by itself has pretty good frames. 4P is -6, -3 on block, +2 on hit, and especially +5 on counter hit. So basically, but the only use for this tool is for anti-evade. Anti-evade toward the back. It's the only reason you use this move, and you'll never use this by itself for that purpose. If you're gonna use this move to cover it back you're gonna use the follow-ups that go with it so you can get full combo damage. So you got Serpent Rage, which is 4 PK. You got Serpent Frenzy, which is 4 PK, just frame K. And Serpent Rage, 4 PK. Like, you only see this happen when somebody made a mistake. When they miss their just frame, that's the only time you like really see this move come out. Oh wow. And the reason is like the frames are really bad. On block, it's -8. On hit is -4, so you get nothing. And on counter hit is +1, so you really don't get anything. What you really want is 4 PK K, so you want Serpent Frenzy. You want to get that just frame K, that way you get that knockdown for a free combo. Of course, it's techable combo here, but that's not even the string. There's more to add on to the string, and that's really where you want to go. What you want to do, you want to add a 4K at the end of this string to turn it into Serpent Claw. So you go from Serpent Frenzy to Serpent Claw. And so if you catch somebody evading from their back with this move, you get a free launch. And depending on, and this is where the Okizumi game starts for this move for her. And this is why this move is really good. If you catch them on the ground and they don't tech, you can follow it with a 1 KGK combo, a Valkyrie low combo for like a third of their life. Ah, well, I'm doing it wrong. Yeah, so right there it does 89 because the opponent didn't tech. But if they did tech, you'll use this move and in conjunction with 4K. So if they did tech, they'll get up block. If they crouch block, they'll get staggered. If they stand block, you'll be in +4, and then you can do a flamingo mix up. So that's really, really, really good. Gentleman Thief told me how to do that because he learned from Chamaim. I think that's his name, Chamaim. He's a PSN player. He's really good. And yo, when I learned that, it really upped my game like that much. So that move is really good. So use that when you think they're gonna evade and you pretty much guess they're gonna evade like towards your back or whatever. She has another variation as well. Let me put on guard for this one. Yeah, this is called tail sweep. So you know you can go from what was it, Serpent Rage or Serpent Frenzy and hit K push G, and you'll go to this full circular high kick. Tail sweep. The frames are really good because unlike this move, this is what, -14 on block, so you can punish it if it gets blocked. They can punish you for mid damage or whatever. But if you think if they catch you on block, you guess wrong, and they block your 4P, and you want to keep the string going because then you'll throw them in a mix up between a 4K, which is a mid, or the K push G, which is a full circular high. So if they try to evade, they'll get caught. Alright. Yeah, this thing you just leave it on normal hit. Yeah, I'll get caught for a knockdown. And you can dash up and do 1 KGK combo if they decide not to tech. And if they do tech, you can do 4K instead. Or you can just do stand throw, just depend on what they want to do. That's when the Okizumi game starts for that too. So that move is pretty good. It's not as good combo wise, I don't think, as the Serpent Claw, but it's still really good. Alright, that's it for 4P. Now you have full 4P. So back punch. This is one of her fastest moves in like her whole arsenal. It might be the fastest now I think about it. Actual attack. It's 10 frame, which is really rare for an attack. So it's very fast. You can technically punish -10 moves with this, but it's very, very hard. And like the reward is relatively low for that purpose specifically, so you won't be using it often for that purpose. But by itself, it's a pretty good move because it's half circular, as you can see. So if they try to evade toward your front area, toward her chest, you'll catch it. And on counter hit, you can get like a free mix up. Wow. I forgot. Yo. I guess it's not that much of a mix-up. But basically, you can do like 4-4-P, and it'll turn them around. It'll turn her around to back turn stance, right? If they duck, you can do Serpent Smash Cannon, her launcher from there. And you can get about, 70-80 points depending on their weight class. If they try to evade, you do 4-4-P and then do Dragon, 4-4-P into Dragon Kick. Wow, this is really messing me up. Yeah, you can do 4-4-P and a Dragon Kick or something like that. Or 4-4-P and a sweep. No catch or evade depending on where they evade. Like, this is half circular, but the sweep is full circular. So if you have a read on what direction they're gonna evade, and you know what they're gonna do, and it's gonna be toward the Dragon Kick, the Dragon Kick's direction, you want to use this move instead, because you get ridiculous damage. It's almost half life right there, just from a combo. She does insane damage for some of her combos, especially on lightweights. So that's what mainly that move is for. It's a pretty good interrupt. It's an okay interrupt. But the good thing about this move is on counter hit, they're close to the wall, like a wall stagger. And you follow it with a K, a back turn K, and then do a full wall combo. If I can freaking finish the combo, come on. Ah, I'm doing the wrong variation of it. Alright, that's basically the use of that move, and that's the end of 4P and 4-4-P. Next up is 6P, so we're getting close to the end actually. But 6P actually has quite some of a few variations to it. 6P is elbow, in case you didn't know. Her elbow is a standard elbow. It's 14 frames, which is pretty good. So it's basically really good for using against like P mix-up, the P poke mix-up. So you want to use that a lot. By itself as a poke is what, -5, -4 block. It's -5 on block. So if they block it, you can crouch dash whatever they do afterwards. So yeah, if they decide to immediately attack, whether it's a throw or an actual attack, you can just crouch dash under it. If I can do it in time, there we go. And just crouch dash fuzzy. But of course, they can delay and then catch you with a delayed attack or a delayed throw, but that's anti-fuzzy tactic, so they'll have to be prepared beforehand to do that. So, long story short, you can fuzzy out of you can crouch dash fuzzy your way out of trouble if it's blocked. So it's really good because of that. On hit is 0, and this gives you a big hint on how this move is used. If they're standing and it just hits, it's neutral, totally neutral. So you're back to where you were before. But if they're crouching and you hit them with an elbow, they're +6, so it's instant Nitaku. So you gotta guess either throw or a mid attack. Yeah, that's basically the use of that move. And on counter hit, if they decide to counter hit, or if they decide to mash and you see it, and you hit them with a preemptive elbow, it's +7s, and they stand up, so they're forced to Nitaku. That's what makes elbow so good, and she kind of needs it. Yeah, Sarah kind of needs it because it enforces her her ability to condition opponents. So whether she wants to force them to stand up or force them to crouch, this would be one of your tools that you'd want to use, and you'd probably be using this often in order to do that. Now you can use 6P by itself in the manners I just mentioned, or you can add one of the follow-ups to 6P, depending on what they do afterward. And the first one I'm going to go over is 6PP. 6PP works, yeah, it's like the opposite of 3PP. Instead of high mid, it's mid high. You can cancel out of. Well, before I get into that, the main use of this move is basically catch counter hit. So get him stand up. It's supposed to catch a Bari. Like if they try to attack through a string, like a block string, like they're gonna get counter hit. So the mix-up is whether they're gonna. If you poke with 6P all the time, you have the option of continuing your string or not, and they won't know the difference. So you kind of control like how they're supposed to react. And if you catch them like mashing, it's instant +5 in the mix-up. It's a fuzzy little mix-up, but again, if they're not already prepared beforehand, they're not gonna fuzzy it. So they're gonna get caught with a Mitaku like mix-up. So mid or throw. So that's 6 PP. Oh yeah, you can. The problem with this move is it's countered by low punch because second attack is high. So yeah, you can get punished out of it. So there's that. Go to guard, and like I was saying before, you have the option of canceling the forward slide, which is actually like okay, but only okay if you like use it like once every week or something like that, just like every blue moon. I'd say like once or twice a month. It's basically an ambiguous way to cancel into your forward slide, which is pretty slow by itself. But they don't see it coming. They can try and like punch you, and well, if like what you use this mainly for is if you're just poking him like this with 6 PP and you see they're blocking all the time. You're like, okay, well I can go into a forward slide and just mash away or whatever into a free mix-up. Basically, if your opponent lets you do it, you can go into forward slide and use forward slide mix-up. If you have a really good Yomi read and you just have that third eye in your mind or whatever, you can use forward slide and the back slide, and it will counter all high punches and all elbows and mid punches. It won't counter it, but it'll sabaki it. And if you sabaki it, let me see if I can. Yeah, let me do demonstration. Yeah, if I try to punch or elbow, like pretty much all of her options out of forward slide, out of backward slide are free, and her options out of backward slide most of them lead to like combos, but you won't be getting that off very often. It's very gimmicky, but at the same time it's pretty good too. But like I said, that's a gimmick, so don't try it all the time. But that's 6 PP. Well, she got 6 PK. 6 PK is like probably her most famous move. Like if you've seen Sarah at all in any other VF, you've seen her doing this move at some time. This is double joint butt. This is like her iconic move out of like every VF ever, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely since 2 at least, maybe 1 too. And basically what this move is for is it's to bait a Bari once again. But it's a bait against 2 peers. Well, pretty much any kind of Bari. So if you do a move and you're gonna attack, especially for 2P, which 6 PP won't catch, you can do this move instead. If you delay it. And again, like most, if not, yeah, about 90% of like strings in VF are delayable. So if you catch them and you see they're trying to, if you're poking them and you see that they're trying to like mash out every chance they can get, you can do this move. And you can throw them out the ring if they're close to the ring edge, or wow, if I can delay it, you can catch them with a combo for free on counter hit. And that's basically what this move is for. It's specifically to catch counter hit and nothing else. If you do it on normal hit, you can still combo them, but it's a attackable combo. So if they try to tech, if they actually tech and you try to finish that combo with 1 KGK, they can punish you. So then you have to guess about what they're gonna do. So, you know, it basically puts them in an Okizeme situation. So rather than free damage, you get a free guess, which is a lot worse than free damage. So, and even worse still is that this move is terrible on block. Terrible. Look at this. Look at the bottom left of your screen. You see that? Minus 18. This is one of the worst moves, like as far as punishment wise, that you can throw out. Like this is more punishable than most launchers. Like her launcher, one of her best launchers, Dragon Smash Cannon 1K is minus 15. Serpent Smash Cannon is minus 15. You know. And then Double Joint Butt 6PK doesn't even do as much damage as those two. So you don't want to throw this out willy-nilly. Like you see, like a lot of players, like even I used to do it a lot. I was just like determined to catch counter hit in any way possible. Like no matter what your opponent does, I wasn't paying attention to them at all, and I just put myself in minus 18 all the time. So that's another sign that a Sarah player may not have all this stuff together. So use it sparingly. It's like a Yomi move. It's like you don't throw it out all the time, but if you think you gotta read, try it. Alright, so that's 6PK. Alright, next is 6P4K, the last of the variations of elbow. Elbow hook kick. So basically this is your way to transition from elbow into flamingo stance. It's a mid-high. It's not a true block string, so I can 2P you out of it. Yeah, so I can punish you. On top of that, on block, you gotta remember, most of her flamingo transition moves on block are positive, and that's what's great about her. And you don't want to be negative in flamingo, you just don't. So on block, it's minus 3. So you won't be able to do any offense out of here. If you can't do any offense out of flamingo, and well, let me say this: if your opponent catches that you're in negative frames, and they know that you can't do any offense out of there because you can't, not really, you know, and you can't block out of flamingo, you can be in real trouble. So you either have to flip out, which they can punish that as well, or just take a risk. There's a major risk, and you don't want to do that. So this is not the best move to use to get into flamingo transition unless you know it already hits. And the thing about this move is that it's somewhat confirmable, not really from standing, but from crouching. Because again, like you know, on block, or actually on hit, normal hit, when your opponent's standing, like they're 0, right? But if they're crouching, they're +6. And if they're crouching, or if it's a counter hit, like the elbow, you can count. You have like forever in a day to like confirm into that. So you get your free flamingo mix up out of there, but again, you're -3, or you're +3 in flamingo setup. So if you're anywhere like +4 and under in flamingo, like your options are kind of limited in flamingo. So again, it's not that great. So what you want to do with this move is basically you want to Yomi read them, yo. Basically, you want to catch them trying to hit, trying to bar you. Let me get my crouching. Oh, maybe not 2P. 2P counters F. Just mentioned that earlier. Yeah. If you landed on counter hit, you're +6, and you're oh yeah, and if you're close to the wall, they'll get staggered too. Oh, I did the wrong combo, but whatever. You can do a wall combo out of there. So this is the ideal use of the move. Basically, you want to catch them in counter hit that's not crouching. You know, if you want to catch them a barring or attacking from disadvantage with a non-crouching move, and bam, you're +6, and you can open up your flamingo options to get further damage. And that's basically the main use for that move, or how you use the move. Going into the last two attacks, you have your jump punch, 7-8. Yeah, you got 7P, 8P, 9P. I got it still on. Yeah, 7, 8P, 7P, 8P, or 9P. This is leap straight. Long story short, you never use this. You'll never see anybody use this. Yeah, if they're crouching in any state, if they're in any non-standing state, they'll completely whiff. Period. Like, you won't hit them. This is a high attack. So, because of that, even though the frames for the move are pretty good, like it's -4 on block, but it's +6 and +9 on normal hit and counter hit, so it's instantly top if they get hit. But the fact that it hits high and the fact that it's off a jump, which is already really slow, so it's seeable and reactable, like you'll never see this move used. On the contrary, you have while landing P, so you jump up, do 7, 8, 9 and guard, 7, 8, or 9 and guard, and then while you're landing, you hit punch. And you got this move. It's a linear mid, totally linear. You can evade it both ways. But at the same time, it's, they get hit or counter hit. Normal hit or counter hit, you get a free 1 KGK combo for about a third life, depending on the character and their weight. So I didn't really record the frames, but at the same time, it's like you don't need to. It's not a move you're gonna be using often. It's not that great, but it's a good mix-up to throw up every now and then, every blue move. So, you know, that's basically it. It's a fake out move. Okay, that's every move from punch button from our normal stance. So, finally, I made it. That's the end of this video, and that's the end of this section. You know, next time I'm gonna go into the kick button. Probably gonna be a while well, not too long for now. I still gotta go through like the kick button and like all their information to make sure I got everything down and straight. So, but if you made it all the way through, thank you. You made it through part 2 of what is probably gonna be like a 6-part series. So, you know, congratulations, pat yourself on the back, and thank you for watching. Most of all, you know, that shows that, you know, you have an interest in VF, at least somewhat, which is the most important part, and that's the point of these videos, to try and like garner the VF interest that's out there, because people are interested, but like the game seems kind of intimidating, and when you get in it and you start discovering like the basics, and that's the problem, people just don't know the basics. But when they start knowing the basics, the game is not hard at all. There's a lot to keep track of, as you can see. It's just the characters have a lot of moves, there's a lot of options to get out of the moves and things like that. But the game is not hard, it's really easy. So hopefully videos like these will show like, you know, how the game works, and that's the whole point. So I want to thank you for watching and keeping up, and thank you for supporting me, and look out for my next video coming up. The next video will be on the K button. Alright, so I'll catch y'all later. Once again, appreciate it, take it easy. Alright, peace. Oh yeah, youtube.com/theblackstarmovement. Yo, subscribe.